to give a little preview of how I got into the industry. I was 8 years old when I got scouted at the Mall of America. I was in the American Girl store, and this lady came up behind my mom and was like, she needs to be in my show. A few weeks later, I was in the American Girl fashion show that I think they used to hold annually. I'm not sure if they still do it, but anyways, I was Kaya either 2012 or 2013. From then on, I've always had a passion for the acting and modeling industry, but when I was 14, that's when I started taking it a little bit more seriously. To start, you're gonna want to figure out what type of model are you. There is multitudes of different categories of modeling. There's commercial, runway, editorial, fit, parts, print, the list goes on and on. Personally, I lean more towards commercial because I am 5'7". I love my height, but I do want to be 2 more inches. I've done runway in the past, so it's not impossible. However, it is more likely if you're within that 5'9" to 6 foot range that you will get signed more as a runway editorial model. But again, it's possible to do anything you want in this world. So never put yourself into a full box, but depending on what type of model you are, that's the agency that you want to go towards. There's a few agencies that specialize in commercial and a few that specialize in editorial. Personally, I have a few agents. One is for specifically commercial and the other one is more for specifically runway and editorial. Important to note, anybody can model it. You don't have to be a specific size, age, ethnicity. Literally anybody can model. Once when you figure out what type of modeling you want to do, that's when you want to search up online the best agencies in your location. So there is a few hubs where there will be more work. Chicago, Minneapolis is actually picking up a lot. That's in Minnesota. Los Angeles and New York, and I know Miami for more swimwear, and I believe Dallas is also another huge hub. But let's say if you live, in Wyoming, and there isn't going to be much of a hub, but because you live in a more smaller area for hubs, it's easier to grow there, I would assume. Breaking into like the bigger hubs like Los Angeles and New York, it's going to be a little bit more tough. However, the one thing to keep in mind is never give up. Your perseverance will push you a long way and get you further than you ever expected. And also, we're on this earth to pursue our passions and our dreams. So if this is something you want to pursue, don't let your fears get in the way of pursuing your dreams. Anywho, a really helpful site is models.com. It shows the top agencies in your area and also what is legit. However, if your agency isn't listed on that, then just be a little bit more cautious and use your own intuition as to if you should trust signing with them or not. Always do your research on what agency you're signing to. If it's a bigger agency like IMG, Elite, Ford, versus a smaller agency, which could be considered your mother agency, get you jobs, just like smaller local jobs, and also help you get put in front of those bigger agencies as well. Do not have to pay to be with an agency. That is a complete scam, especially if it's like a training school. Do not do that. Agents only make money when you make money. They make commission off you. They take around like 10 to 20% depending on what your contract is. They don't make money if you're not making money. So if an agency is trying to make you pay, the only thing you should really be paying for is, building up your portfolio, which is your book of photos. Occasionally you'll have to get some updated photos, like professional photos. How you actually get noticed by agencies is there's a few ways. The first one is going to an open call, which is when the agency you can find it on Instagram or their website. They have girls coming in. You can sign up for a spot to get in and get seen physically, or I believe sometimes they just have walk-ins. You can also just walk in whenever for the most part. I've heard of a few stories where girls just walk into an agency, get signed, and leave. That is possible. Not common, but it's possible. The second way is going through their website. Most agencies typically have a apply or become a model button, which is where you're gonna have your digitals and measurements. I'll talk about that in just a moment. Once when you submit them, it's gonna take around 1 to 2 weeks, unless it's like a huge agency and they have millions of girls always applying, so it might take around a month or so to get a reply. Unfortunately, if they don't choose you, they won't send a rejection letter or anything like that. So I'd say 1 to 2 weeks is how long it typically takes for somebody to get back to you if they do want you to be a part of their agency. Also, just because they say no once does not mean that it's a no forever. I remember when I was like 14 applying to these huge agencies, and then finally when I was 18 is when they accepted me. It's all because you have to keep updating your digitals and always sending, I think it's like 3 to 6 months, you can always reapply. If you're going to go the applying online route, which is the most common route, you're gonna have to have a few things. First is your measurements. What you're gonna need is, I believe, your bust, waist, hips. For men, you're gonna need an inseam and a few other men only kind of things. Or I believe like suit size, something along those lines. Whereas women, it's shoe size. I think men and women's shoe size, dress size, pant size, shirt size, all that. You're gonna need all that down. And you're also going to need digitals. This is what an agency wants to see when you're submitting your pictures. They're called digitals or Polaroids, but for most days, they're called digitals now. It's a no makeup look, and for women, something very form-fitting. So a tank top that shows off your collarbones and shoulders and arms. It could be cropped, and then something like skinny jeans or leggings, just something that shows your figure off. And you're gonna need a headshot of your face, and again, minimal to no makeup whatsoever, just, you know, concealer, maybe filling in your eyebrows just a teensy bit, or some mascara, but for the most part, or even just no makeup at all. They just want to see what you look like, bare-faced, natural, or you can take a whole bunch of pictures. I have a plethora of digitals, some with my natural curly hair, some with straight hair, some with curling iron curled hair. Again, all just depends what kind of vibe you're picking up from the agency, and also what kind of, how you want to be perceived. The photos that you take is how they're going to expect you to go into jobs. You're going to need a full-length picture, just you standing against a white wall, backside as well, profiles, so left and right profiles, and then it coming up to 3/4, which is your waist up, and then bust up as well for some agencies, headshots, up close profiles. Typically that is what most agencies will need from you, so it's always good just to have those on hand. Like, I can make a whole video of how to take digitals. You can do it with your iPhone. Your phones like Android and iPhone have really great cameras nowadays, so you don't even need professional photographers or to pay someone hundreds of dollars to take your pictures. You can literally just grab a friend and do it at home. Now that we've gotten how to get an agent, I just want to point out some of the downsides of modeling, especially since I've been in this industry for 11, almost 12 years now. Getting paid is, they could pay you instantly, and it could also take like 3 to 6 months. Honestly, it's not, unless you are getting booked after booked, it is not really a steady income, and sometimes you don't even get paid at all. You just get paid in clothing. If you love it like I do, it's just the experience and just getting to work and network with all the photographers and fashion designers. That's the most rewarding part. It's not really about getting paid for me, but if that's something that you're concerned about, then I wouldn't suggest being in this business. Another huge part of this industry is rejection. You have to be solid with rejection. You're gonna get rejected left and right. It does not matter how beautiful, how tall, how skinny you are. It's just all about if you're the right fit for the company or not. People want to work with people that have a good personality, so just because you're signed to like top agency does not give you the right to be a diva. You always have to be nice, kind, compassionate. Just be somebody that you want to work with yourself. Long hours. I have been on set from maybe like dawn to dusk, honestly. At some points it can take a while to get the perfect shot or exactly what the photographer or director is envisioning. Long hours, again, just be prepared for that, and always just being in, you know, heavy makeup or like an outfit that's scratchy. It's not all glamorous when you're doing it. Yes, it looks great on film, but but it's not always glamorous, the process of getting that perfect photo. Those are all my tips and tricks of how to get signed into this industry and how to start. Let me know if you have any other comments, questions, concerns. I can always make a video about how to get the perfect digitals, how to build your resume, how to make a perfect portfolio, which is your book of photos. Anything regarding anything. Let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video.